Hi everyone, thank you for joining us. My name is Natasha Bray and I'm a success mastery coach for women who want to unlock their ultimate up level. I'm also the creator of a new therapeutic method called Heart Healing, and I'm here with Bianca today. And Bianca is one of the first ladies to go through the complete Heart Healing package with me. And her story is just so incredible, and what she does is so incredible that we just wanted to share some stuff about that with you today. So, Bianca is a women's leadership coach, and I'm just going to hand you over to her now to tell you a bit more about what that actually is and who she helps. Over to you, Bianca.
Yeah, thank you, Natasha. So I'm a women's leadership coach, and I'm very passionate about helping women reach higher positions of power in the companies that they work in, because I truly believe that when women are in formal positions of power, the world changes for the better. There's lots of evidence to prove that when women are part of senior leadership teams, better decisions are being made, companies make higher profits, and employees are more engaged and happier to work there. And the way I help women is by raising their confidence via hypnotherapy, and also by helping them with proven communication strategies to communicate their worth better so that other people can recognize and elevate them.
Amazing. And that's so important and actually really interesting. I didn't know those sort of stats that you just shared there, that actually women higher up in leadership in corporate positions benefit the company a lot more, yet women still get paid a lot less.
Yes, exactly. It's like we have to overcome these inner blocks that are keeping us in what I like to call good girl mode, which you referred to as wounds from the past, right? Once we overcome them, and you've helped me a lot do that in my business, we can contribute so much more to the world and be recognized and valued in return. So it's incredibly powerful.
And it's so needed as well. So thank you for sharing that. And so what I want to ask you first of all, Bianca, is what drew you to the Heart Healing Package? As it's a new therapy, you are trained in therapies yourself, but what was it about the Heart Healing Package that made you think, yeah, okay, I want to try that?
Yeah, so I'd already done quite a lot of therapies with other therapists, and I'd already made some progress, but it seemed to me like there was something very deep that wasn't yet ready to be revealed and healed. And I was going through one of the other programs, the Uplevel Academy, and I had some amazing breakthroughs during the academy that were very strong and immediate. Like I could literally feel them. And also in the processes that you took me through during the Ultimate Uplevel Academy, I'd already had some really amazing, like you might say, spiritual experiences that were very, very strong. And it was clear that it was related to something that you were doing in your processes. And I felt like there was like this connection I had with you, and I could connect to a lot of your personal experiences that you shared with us in the program, and I felt that you were the right therapist for me to help me with what I was struggling with.
Yeah, thank you. Wow. And so we went on our heart healing journey, and you've been also a member of the Ultimate Uplevel Academy. And the heart healing journey, for anyone who's watching, is a very specific 4-stage or four set of 4 therapeutic sessions that are particularly aimed at opening up your heart to receiving more love, money, and success in your life. So can you share how soon things started changing and what results you saw?
Yes, so it's interesting because you asked me, there's 4 areas that we dealt with in heart healing, in the 4 heart healing sessions, and you asked me which one do you want to start with. And the one that we started with wasn't actually the one that gave me the biggest breakthroughs. So the first two sessions, I thought, oh, yeah, that was interesting. And I was kind of still in that state where I wanted to know what it was that you were doing. So it's like I wasn't really, and it was all quite normal. And for me, it was all quite well. That's actually not true, because when you sent me the initial questionnaire where I had to fill in some stuff about my past, the first time I tried to fill in that questionnaire, I couldn't do it because it brought up a lot of really heavy stuff from my past. And I thought, okay, I have 4 weeks to do this. I'll do it later. And then the second time I filled in the questionnaire, your team had kind of nagged me to fill it in. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this now. And I was really excited about starting to work with you because I trusted that you would be able to help me with it. So then I filled it in, and then I just felt like, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff. How's she going to deal with all of this stuff in 4 sessions? And so then the first 2 sessions, they were kind of like, interesting. And I think I was trying to analyze what it was that you were doing. I think that's probably partly why I didn't really go into it. But then the third session, it was funny, right? There was this music playing outside my window, this gypsy music, and I had to change rooms because of it. And the first 2 sessions we did in my normal office, and the third session we did in my bedroom.
Yeah.
On my husband's side of the bed, because that's where the socket was for the laptop and everything. And I had like the most amazing, like out of this world experience where there were other abnormal things happening, right? Where it wasn't just you and me, there were other, not people, but there were other things around that were kind of involved in it as well, in the whole healing experience. And you guided me to a really special place where I'd never been before, where it felt safe to actually deal with some really deep stuff that hadn't wanted to be revealed and healed before. And after the session, I mean, you helped me let go of a lot of junk from my system during the session. And after the session, I was like, and I cried a lot, right? And then there was like other things happening that usually don't happen. Like there was, and it may sound completely stupid, but it felt like there was an angel who was like, came with a hoover and sucked a lot of junk out of my chakras. And I mean, he or she, the angel didn't literally have a hoover, but that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Like something was taken off me and I was ready to release it, but then there was still like a little bit of a feeling like, oh, but this kind of pain that I'd been carrying around with me, I'm kind of used to that, and where is it now? Mm-hmm. So but at the same time it felt like the whole channel just massively opened up, and I was ready to, like, there was like this opening and I was ready to fill it with something other than pain. Yeah. And I was quite excited to see what that was. And then literally a few days later I signed like a package at a much higher price point than I ever signed before. And then a few days after that, another package at more than twice that price point. And it just felt completely normal. I was no longer, it wasn't like I was no longer rejecting good things coming to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sounds like a roller coaster to anyone listening, and it is, you know, it is a bit of a, it's not easy doing this deep inner work. It's emotional, but the freedom that comes from it is so incredible that it is worth that little emotional roller coaster to get there, you know?
Yeah.
And you mentioned the consultation form. Even from the form itself, before we even start the therapy, the change process is already beginning from the way that form is written and structured. And yes, as a therapist yourself, that's something we tend to do. We tend to analyze what the other person's doing rather than fully letting go. So I'm glad you're able to work through that eventually. And yeah, you started to see, you know, and also I think it's worth mentioning, you've, without going into details, of course, you had quite a lot of trauma in your background, as you mentioned. There was quite a lot of stuff that came up that you thought there's a lot here that needs to be worked through. But despite that, we were able to get such huge amounts of healing in just 4 1-hour sessions. Yeah. And then you started to see the reality of that, the sort of inner work coming out into your outer world. And, you know, to sell high ticket packages that you've never sold at those prices before is incredible. So what sort of, we're talking like 5 figures plus for those investments.
Yeah.
Is, you know, it's amazing to have such a shift that you could then confidently and almost like with ease charge that for your work and receive that for your work.
That's so true. It felt completely normal to me to sign these packages, to offer them, and then to actually receive the money for them. And I'm really excited to start working with these women. You know, previously when I raised my prices, I felt like this huge sense of responsibility. Like almost as if, oh, that's maybe a little bit too much for me. Maybe I shouldn't do that, right? And then I was subconsciously pushing these clients away, even though they were really keen to work with me. Whereas now I'm like, the doors are wide open and people are coming. So it's just amazing.
Yeah, it's fabulous. And what sort of changes did you feel in you? You mentioned they're more sort of more ease working with clients, but how did you start to feel about you that was different to before you'd done this session or these packages?
What I felt really was the relationship with myself. I had a really strong inner critic. And even though I'd already done so much work on the inner critic in the last 25 years since these traumatic events with my father happened, right? I'd gone on this self-development journey. I'd studied a little bit of psychology at university and gotten some coaching and hypnotherapy qualifications in recent years, but I still had this really strong inner critic that would stop me from doing the things I really wanted to do. And this inner critic really became a lot more compassionate thanks to the work that you and I did together in this heart healing package. It's like this inner critic was carrying around a lot of anger and resentment, and that anger and resentment was able to get voiced thanks to your guidance in these very powerful sessions that we had, right? And once that anger and resentment was gone, it was like this big rock that was on my shoulders previously got lifted, and that actually was what allowed me then to rise and have so much more love and trust and belief in myself that I didn't really have to that extent previously, right? So we all think that we've already done so much work and what else is out there, but the truth is there's always another level. There's always something left that can be taken off. And what we did in that, especially that third session together, that was like some massive rock that I hadn't even realized was there, that just got exploded during the session. And I got like a massive, like it wasn't just like an elevator, like normally after other good therapy sessions, but it was like a rocket. And the uplift was just so much higher than in other things that I'd done before.
Amazing. And were there any other unexpected things that happened during this time?
Yes. So, oh my gosh, there was this one thing. So you told me, hey, or you asked me in the very first session that we had together, right, the intake session where we chatted about the intake form, you said, how much longer are you going to enable this person? And this person had been a little bit of a pain in the backside for me. And he wanted me to give him something. And I was like, oh, that was quite a good question. And then the following day, I got a letter from somebody who basically ended up offering me a 6-figure sum for this thing that that pain in the neck person had asked me to give to him. And I almost was going to gift it to him just to get him to shut up. And then I was like, and then this letter came after you and I talked, this letter came offering me a 6-figure sum. And I go like, oh, well, you know, that 6-figure sum, if it stays in my hands, I can actually, you know, invest that money so much more wisely and have a much bigger impact in this world for the good, right? Because I'm going to select the companies that I like and that have good impact, that are led by women, to turn that money into even more money and also have a positive impact on the world, rather than just give it to the pain in the neck person. So that's like something else that happened. And I think by starting to work with you, I was just more open to receiving these opportunities, right? And there's this saying that says, oh, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Or there's another saying, right, that says, when you're ready for goodness, it will come to you. And that's exact, I just made that up, but I'm sure there's like some quote somewhere that says that, right? So when you're ready for goodness, it will come to you. Sorry, you opened your mouth. Did you want to say the real quote? Or?
No, definitely. I like the second one, and the first one I've heard before. So I think you got that right. Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks to talking with you, it's almost like it opened the floodgates, and then the goodness started like basically like almost hitting me in the face, which was amazing because I was ready for it.
Yeah. So this thing, without identifying anything, of course, this thing that you were going to give away for free, after already giving lots for free to that person, I kind of called you out on it a little bit, didn't I?
You did, yes.
And was like, okay, why are you going to do that? That was your overgiver coming up really strongly. And yeah, just coincidentally, out of the blue, you then get offered 6-figure sum for that particular thing. Which I say there's no such thing as coincidence in this work, because you were, like you say, ready to open up to receive those good things. So not only did you get those 6-figure sums, you've now started signing 5-figure clients, multiples, not just one, but multiples, and that's your new normal now. And had like significant shifts in your relationship with yourself, the way you talk to yourself, which is just amazing, really.
Yeah, best thing ever. It's the best thing ever. I mean, we always focus so much emphasis on all the things that are going on around us, right? Or that house, that job, this guy that I like. But actually what I realized is that the most valuable thing that you can have is a good relationship with yourself. And when you have that, you don't really need the external stuff. You can still want the external stuff and invite it in, and it's nice. But at the end of the day, those are all extras to the relationship that you have with yourself. And that's just completely priceless, right? To actually like yourself the way that you are.
Yeah, and it is that internal change which makes you more magnetic to that success that you're looking for, wanting in life, then with a lot more ease. So this is a question I want to ask you, because obviously being a therapist and having had lots of different therapies in the past, what do you think was different about heart healing?
What I think was different was well, first of all, it was you specifically. So the fact that by being in your programs, I already trusted you a lot, and I already knew, based on the wins that I had in the programs, that you know, you and I were gonna get this something amazing for me in the Heart Healing Package. And then what attracted me to it was that it was short, only 4 sessions. And I'd seen other people have phenomenal results with the package as well. And also I like what happens. So basically the methodology, it looks really deep inside of me and finds things there that don't serve me anymore, and then you 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 get rid of these things, if that makes sense. So it's basically like a deep cleanse of the pipes, of your energetic pipe work, right? So we've all got these meridians in our bodies, these energetic pipes, and over time they collect a lot of junk in them, and then they don't work so well anymore. And what happened in the heart healing sessions, that I found the junk and got rid of it and installed more powerful, empowering beliefs afterwards, which means that the meridians are not just clean, they're glowing with energy. That's what it feels like.
I love that. Well, thank you for sharing. And I know that this is just the beginning for you, and there's lots more exciting results still to come. You know, despite all the amazing things that have happened so far, it doesn't just stop. It's an ongoing transformation. Anyone who is watching this thinking, oh, I'm quite interested in heart healing, what might you say to them?
Yeah, I would say that I can only recommend it from the bottom of my heart, from my expanded, massive heart. After heart healing, it's one of the best things I've ever done, and I wouldn't want to miss it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing all of that with us. And again, congratulations on all your amazing successes that you've unlocked. And if anyone wants to find out more about you, where can they find out more?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram as Bianca.Riemer, and I'm very active on Facebook and LinkedIn as well. My website is biancariemer.com.
Thank you. And if you are interested in heart healing, you can either sign up with me or one of my heart healing associate therapists to work on this incredibly powerful package together, so we can open up more love, money, and success for you too, just like we've done with Bianca. So if that interests you, just get in touch and we can send you more details. So that's it from us. Thank you, Bianca, and thank you for watching. Bye for now.